Morning everybody, hope you are well. Now, we are currently away once again in the caravan and we are borrowing this awning from Isabella. We've been borrowing it since Easter in fact, and we've been using it I think about 5 or 6 times. A variety of different weather conditions, different types of pitches, and I think it's about time now we can give you our feedback and a review on how we think this awning has behaved. I must say, it's grabbed a lot of attention. At Tourfest, lots of people came in, had a look around and were very interested by it. So I thought, well, this review, we can capture some of the questions that were being asked and also some of the comments that were being made about the awning. So let's start with some details of this Ventura Trinus 400 Air Awning. Its retail price is £1,299 and its dimensions are 400 wide by 260 deep. However, the living space inside the awning is not quite 400, it's more like 360. And this is because the measurement is taken from the very outside edges of the awning. But the slight depth gives this awning a great space. The awning feels almost square and gives more space to move about in. As you can see, we have the table set in the centre, and with this in place we can still move around the awning without tripping over each other or the dog. The awning has a single inflation point, so there's no added beams or extra parts to inflate. Simply connect the pump and inflate away. The awning comes with an included hand pump, and this makes quick work of getting the air pressure up to 8 psi. If however you're not in the mood for breaking into a sweat, Isabella also sell an electric pump that inflates the awning for you. It does take some time, but the pump can do all the hard work for you while you adjust the footprint of the awning. Anyway, let's pop back inside and discuss the shape of this awning. Now, the first one we had was a banana shape. It would attach to the caravan and go down to the ground. The second air awning that we had did the same thing. It went down but had a kink in it to stop that rotation of the poles. Worked quite well. This one works in a completely different way. As you can see, the curve we've got here is on the main brace, and if you look behind me you'll see that all the other poles here are dead straight. This has been the very first awning that we've put up that does not have any bends in any of the air beams. It's been quite nice actually. We've put it up 5 or 6 times now, and every time we've put it up it's been exactly the same shape. No variation, no difference. To give you an understanding on how high this is, I'm just over 6 foot. And if I stand here, you can see how much height there is at the very end here. And in fact, if I stand over here in the corner, you can see that my head will touch this beam here in the corner, but in terms of roof space, it's absolutely fine. So that gives you an idea on the amount of height. It's actually quite a tall awning. Isabella owners will recognise this familiar design. It's separated by a bright band to break up the roof, and it really does let in quite a lot of light. In fact, if you look closely, you can see a few leaves on the roof panel just to show how much light comes through. I'll quickly mention how easy this roof was to clean. We were parked under trees for 7 nights, and at the end of our stay we had some bird droppings, tree sap and debris. Using the IsaClean product and a cloth, the roof panel was exceptionally easy to clean up. All the marks simply wiped away. Now, I'm going to follow up with this with a separate video on awning cleaning, so look out for that in the near future. To let in fresh air, all the panels unzip and can be removed, but with the addition of these 2 poles you can, if you wish, undo one panel halfway down. The pole prevents the sides from opening up fully, and it gives the panel something to rest upon. If the weather isn't that great but you do want some airflow, that small canopy at the front of the awning gives some protection if the panel tops are open. Again, if it's humid yet wet weather, you can have this option to allow maximum airflow. Now, I just mentioned the small canopy which is on the front of the awning, but there is one accessory which is available, and that's the W400 air canopy. This can be used directly on the awning, or as you'll see in a moment, on the caravan. Simply zip it in place, inflate to 8 psi, and you have an extended cover area. This we found perfect to cook outside when once again the weather wasn't so great, and like I mentioned, the canopy can be used directly on the caravan, and this is perfect for a quick getaway when you don't want an awning or you just want some shelter for the elements. Anyway, let's nip back inside and let me show you a couple of things I really like about this awning. Unlike all our previous awnings, the curtains are removable. You see, the last 4 awnings we have used have had blinds, curtains and fly screens all stitched in, which is nice, but it's a pain when they need to be cleaned or when you're trying to remove condensation from the awning panels. Another feature which I really liked was the way that the awning seals against the caravan. It uses inflatable beams and it creates a tight seal against the Caravan. Now this worked really well at one end of our Caravan, however there is a problem at the other end. And that's because at that side we've got an electric hookup outlet which interferes with the side of the awning. Now there wouldn't be a problem in the summer, but in the winter you want a good tight seal of the awning against the Caravan, and it just wouldn't do that. I think the awning would flap about a bit too much and drive us crazy. The way around that is to make the awning wider, weirdly, for us. If it was a 440 or a 420 even, I think the fit would be a lot better. It would give us a lot more room that side to fiddle around with the fit against the side of the Caravan, and it means it would pass this window, giving a nice flush fit against the side of the Caravan. So what are our real thoughts and opinions of this awning? Well, the first time we went away with it, back in March, April, Easter time, we didn't like it. And that was a really good reason why we didn't like it. You see, this awning has got two awning rails. There's a fatter bead and there's a thinner bead. And we mistakenly fed the wrong one in. It just meant that the awning sagged just a little bit and it didn't fit to the top of the Caravan particularly well. And if that's not fitting well at the top there, then everything else looks a bit rubbish. I was going to do a review back in March, April time, because it was the first time we were borrowing this one, but because we didn't do it right and because we couldn't get on with it, I thought it would be a bit of an unfair review to perform. But after we've used it now, I think 5 or 6 times, we must say that we get on with it quite a lot better. Obviously every awning has got its own little nuances and its own little idiosyncratic methods of putting it up, and we've got to grips with this one now, and we can get this one up and fit it out quite quickly, in fact. So initially we didn't like it. We now have come to love it because of the extra width and the extra depth that we've got in this awning. It gives us a lovely little living area in the awning. Right, and that's everything that you need to know about the Ventura Trinus 400 air awning. We really enjoyed borrowing this one, to be honest with you. We're a little bit sad to see it go. That added depth of this awning has really given us a great outdoor space to live in. So we'll be a little bit sad to see this one go, I'm sure. But nonetheless, onwards and upwards, I'm sure there'll be plenty more awnings for us to try out in the future. So in the description of this video, I've put a list together. I've asked Isabella to help me out here. We've put a list together in the description of all the dealerships around the UK that have one of these on display. Now, if your dealership doesn't have one on display, don't worry. I've also put a link to find the retailer, and if you click on that and find your local Isabella retailer, they'll be able to get one in and demo it for you. Because it's a bit of an investment, I strongly recommend that you go and have a look around one of these yourself. Don't just buy one off of my review here online. If you've got any comments or questions for me, put them down below. Please subscribe to our channel, click the notification icon, and if you can do all that, then we'll see you in the very next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. Take care now. Bye-bye.